All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to I think it's episode 20 of the Gameacologists. It's got to be some kind of milestone or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's me, John, and I'm here with Kyle and Matt again.
Hi.
Kyle says hi.
Hello, people.
There it is. And today, so we're gonna do a Matt episode, which was Matt's idea. He wanted to do a your top five favorite video games. So think about like Matt's the teacher and he's giving me math homework, and instead of doing said math homework, I basically just rewrote the entire Declaration of Independence over the math homework, which while that is an educational marvel to do that from memory, it has nothing to do with the actual assignment. I just picked five games that I really like. I felt like a top five is too definitive. Um, my top five favorite games 5 years ago is different than my top five favorite games now, and will be different 5 years from now. It's ever changing, ever evolving. I'm not comfortable with committing, like putting it on the internet forever that these are my top five favorite games. That's too much. They're gonna dox me. So, I picked five games that I really like, and Kyle
Yeah,
did
I gu-
something.
I guarantee you all five of mine are different. They're all great games that I love. I'm not comfortable saying these are top five forever, but these
Uh,
are five games that I enjoyed a lot and hope you all agree.
Well, my thing is that unlike John, I'm pretty consistent, and I have my favorite franchises that will never change, and I
It's
essentially pick the best game, in my opinion, from those franchises.
gonna be five Souls board games
yeah, so I'm thinking Elden Ring's
and
on the list.
Skyrim.
Wonder how many episodes we can go by without Matt talking about Skyrim. So far, we're at zero. I need to get a sign behind me that says "Days Without Skyrim" mentioned, and just keep it permanently at zero. But anyway, so who wants to do their list first? I
I'll go
guess we're gonna do
first.
it this
Get
way.
my first one
Kyle,
out of the
Kyle,
way.
will go first. That'll
Okay.
ruin everybody's day before we.
I guess this would be close to the front of my list, but if not number one, number two, it would be Twisted Metal Black.
Yeah,
I know I've talked about
I
it a lot. I'm
bet.
not going to go into a huge amount of detail. We did a whole episode on it. Listen to that one. It's a great game. I played it a lot as a kid because I had like two friends. And I'm done.
Okay.
That's the whole list.
That's no, I'm going one at a
Oh,
time.
no, okay. So I'm done.
Mm,
But words
Just
matter.
I said, yeah, they do. Who's next?
Oh, I think
you.
we're doing the
Oh, we're doing
entire
all five at
yeah,
once?
we're gonna do the whole list and then move around.
Okay. Okay. That makes more sense, I guess. I don't know. I guess next would be Twisted Metal 3. No, I'm just kidding. Um it would be
Cell
Gears of
damage.
War. I forgot
That's a
about Cell Damage. That's a great game. I have
Gears
it
of
on the Switch.
War.
Yeah, Gears of War, the first one specifically. The first three are great. I didn't really play any of the other ones after that. Um, I played five for a little bit, but didn't really interest me that much.
I never played
Um,
any of those.
they're great if you
They
didn't have an
are.
Xbox, so or a 360, I mean.
I had PS3 and I played Uncharted, which I think was kind of Sony's well, not response. It was their flagship third-person shooter.
Yeah, yeah. But I had a lot of fun in that game, especially in three. But the first one is usually my favorite of the whole series because they're still finding their footing at least, and not everything is perfect. They haven't ironed a bunch of shit out. There's not a whole bunch of shit to do. And I don't know, the story was really interesting, and it's always fun to chainsaw people into bits.
It is.
Yeah. I think the
Yeah.
first one also, I think it had the best story.
Yeah.
Because you're first learning about like the locusts coming up from the earth
Yeah.
and like the whole and the way the game opens with that like whole huge like speech and like how the whole world's at war to fight these things. It was really well done. And to like have that kind of cinematography was I think it was kind of hard to replicate. I think they put their best foot forward with the first game. Not to say
Yeah.
that the other games are bad, because they're not. I think the whole franchise is good. It's just that the first one was the best. And they're like, you know what? This is a new idea. This is a new game. Let's draw people in.
Go big with our chainsaw assault rifles.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Pretty great.
Chain salt rifles.
Yeah, that one. I was terrible at the multiplayer. I was not. I'm not good at third person shooters like that are competitive like Gears of War, but I had a good time playing it, and I'd have to just pick the story over the multiplayer. If I had to pick, my next game. I guess I'd have to pick for my next game. It would be Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3.
Really, over two?
Don't touch my garbage.
Yeah, don't touch my garbage. I played two a
uh,
lot. It's good. I'm not saying it's
I
not
like.
better than three.
Uh,
I prefer three.
okay.
It's it's more streamlined. There's not 100 characters to pick from and assists and shit like that. And it looks nicer.
It does
Yeah,
look nicer.
aesthetically, three is beautiful,
Yeah,
but
great.
that's I
Yeah.
was hyped when I saw the trailer, and then I'm like, they changed the controls. I'm out. I'm good. I'm not even gonna try to learn this.
See, unlike John, I do like three because I'm a little bitch and cry
Yeah.
when people control and when they change the controls.
I'm gonna cut
Yeah, who
all that.
cares? Controls are great. Fucking
Reality
learn
can be
them, dude.
whatever I
Nerd.
want. I'm the editor.
Learn them, nerd.
No.
But I still like two
Um,
better just because you get all the different characters.
yeah.
Is Rogue in three?
Rogue?
No.
No.
She was one of my mains in two. See, I'm alienated, isolated. All right, we were
Uh,
talking about Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
yeah, we should absolutely were.
Were we done, or did
Uh,
you have more to add?
um, that was really it. One of my favorite moments in the game, though, it was I was fighting against Trevor, and if you're watching this, Trevor, I love you. Um, I was fighting against him, and I was using Ryu as one of my characters, and in that game, you have the ability to call all three of your characters at once, do like a combination super move or something. I don't
Yeah.
remember what it's called. And he did that as I had jumped over him. Like I'd started the jump and he called all his people out. It was just poor timing. It wasn't calculated at all. And for some reason they had set the damage to highest. I don't know why. But I Ryu has a like an install super where he buffs himself and his moves change like the spin kick, it gets like a lightning storm around it, and the Hadouken will like bounce across the screen. It's pretty cool. And so I did that and then did the Hadouken and killed all three of his characters at once. It's great.
Uh, Good old
Oh,
Ryu and his unfair buffs.
yep. Well, the assist characters take extra damage when they're out, and
Hmm.
they're not the main character that you're playing as. So damage set to highest, they take extra damage on top of that. Killed all three of his characters in one shot. It was like, oh, fight's over. It's great. It was one of my favorite moments that has happened.
Yeah, Ryu has
Mhm.
always been a cheap character, at least as far as modern like fighters in Street Fighter and shit.
I just
And then
paper
there was
kick.
the yeah, but he had like certain moves and stuff, unlike other characters, especially in five. You see it a lot in five. But the Hulk too, he has that. He has the ability to unflinch during a move, so he'll just still continuous attack.
He has super armor during some of his
Yeah,
moves. Yeah, his neutral B is just like an overhead swing, and you can't interrupt it unless you hit him like a bunch. Like it's like two or three times you have to hit him or something. And you can't really do that if his armor is swinging down. And there's a
it's
two
pretty
hit
fast
combo.
move.
I know, that's what I'm saying. There's a two hit combo that will lead you into one of his supers where he jumps up and grabs a meteor and slams it back down. If you hit them, you'll get the full hits, but like or it's just B and then A and it'll launch them. And if you time it right, you can catch them on the way up and down, and you'll just murder everything. It's great.
Okay, so that's
Those three games.
three of them.
That's that's three whole
Okay.
games.
Um, I would have to say for the next one. It's kind of a tie. Super Mario RPG, original or remake, I don't care. And Smash Bros. Ultimate, or not Melee or Ultimate.
Those are
Melee
tied.
is, yeah,
That's interesting.
those are great games to me. I love Super Mario RPG. because it's a good single player experience. Fuck both of you. I don't have to play games with you.
No, no, that's
Uh,
one of the best RPGs out there.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
just kind of short.
Yeah,
Is the
yeah,
only downfall.
yeah. If it was longer, it'd be way better than it already is. You know, and
Probably be
Melee and
better than
Ultimate,
Final Fantasy VII.
Melee and Ultimate are kind of tied because I mean Melee's Melee. It was played in tournaments and it was so popular for so fucking long. Like everybody played it.
I'm pretty sure they still have melee tournaments to
Yeah,
this day.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. And
they
it
do.
people like it more than Brawl because Brawl has tripping simulator in it.
They have
Just the dumbest
NES.
shit.
They have NES Tetris tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think the official Tetris champions, whoever does that, I think they're playing the NES version. So I'm pretty sure people are out there still playing Melee.
Yeah. And Melee is great. It's yeah, I spent a lot of time in it, unlocked everything, did all the missions and all that shit, and got all the trophies that you can get because like I said, I had no friends and had no time. I had all the fucking time. But
Best part about melee is that's when they introduce Marth.
I think it puts out a bad and like when you say you didn't have any friends, those Columbine guys had like 9 friends and those guys fucking sucked.
when I say I had no
You
friends, I mean like that
could,
lived around me. Like
oh
I had
yeah, I was
to
gonna say
go
like
to their houses. Like I had to drive to get to them. You know, it wasn't like they were right there. I could just bring them over. Like, you know, like just, hey, walk to my house. Although
let's say like
sometimes one of them did, but
one good friend is infinitely more
yeah.
valuable than
Oh,
like eight
absolutely. And I do
Columbine
have,
guys.
yeah. What the fuck?
I was just saying there
Why is
was
that even a comparison,
well
dog?
because there was that Chris Rock bit where they were talking
Yeah.
about how nobody likes them and no one will hang out with us. We don't have any friends, and he's like, I saw the pictures. There was like 6 of them. I don't have 6 friends now, and
Yeah. No.
I'm rich.
Yeah. Ultimate is great because, I mean, look at it. It's got every fucking character that's ever existed ever.
Rogue.
That you, shut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ultimate
And
is great.
yeah, Ultimate is great. And I know y'all hate it, but the final smashes are fucking cool.
That's the only way Matt gets any kills. That's why I don't like it.
I don't care. I'd rather let him get a kill with a final smash or just watch him miss it. It's fun.
Yeah, I don't like that
I've
shit.
I've gotten
But
ringouts against you without using an alternate. John.
and me probably.
Maybe like one a few times, but I'm more consistent against John. But I definitely like I feel like I have to use supers against you, Kyle. Like your skill level is like way better than John's.
What the
So
fuck?
Well,
yeah.
thanks.
Hey,
What the
I appreciate it.
fuck?
I'll take
out of
it.
the three of us, Kyle's like the best.
No,
He yes.
no.
He
I
consistently
contest that.
wins.
No, look, Kyle, look what he's doing. Look at what he's
Well,
doing.
well, see, your problem, John, is like you play for too long, you get tired, and you don't want to play anymore, and so you like don't play as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And that's when I start to
consistent the
win.
whole time.
And then Kyle comes in and just fucks everything up. Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, no problem.
I can make a video of like I have so many screenshots of me three stalking you.
Yeah,
You
Of
don't
me or
you,
Kyle?
of
Like
you. I have a few of Kyle for sure.
yeah.
that's what
But
He
you,
doesn't
I'm
oh
a
my
always stalk me
God.
nearly as often.
I could print out all those pictures and use it as wallpaper for my fucking bedroom. And they'd all be individual pictures. There'd be no doubles.
Nice.
They'd have the whole wall.
That's
no, it's the
impressive.
same.
I
He's gonna Xerox the same picture over and over again.
don't need to.
Yeah, he doesn't need to.
I really don't need to. I have that many individuals.
Um,
He's trying to tear a rift between us. That's what he's
I'm
doing.
just I'm
Now I'm mad at
I'm just
Kyle.
laying out
He
the
didn't even do
I'm
nothing.
I'm laying out the facts.
Like
I
this
would have to
motherfucker.
say, yeah, pretty much. I mean, fuck both of you. Eat a dick. I think my fifth, like my final top five. I'm not putting them in any particular order. I don't care. Would probably have to be Halo.
The Beyonce song?
No,
No,
Combat
Oh, okay.
Evolved, the
Okay.
first one, and I don't think I even have it. I might have two on my original Xbox, but I spent a lot of time in the first three Halo games with some of my best friends that some I don't talk to anymore, but it was a fun. Halo is pretty much the only reason I got an Xbox when I got one, you know, and then I would rent games all the time, and, you know, Chronicles of Riddick and all that shit. And I never beat that one, but whatever.
Steak from Butcher Bay is really good.
I know, but I don't have any other game really, except for maybe Call of Duty that I've spent that much time in in one singular game. You know, I've played Mass Effect a lot, and like the whole trilogy, I played that a lot. I've beaten it bajillion times. But Halo is, I kind of always will be something I can just always go back to whenever I want to play a shooter that's not Call of Duty, you know.
Yeah.
It's it's just a good story, you know. Like even now, like I'll play through it every once in a while, but there's a mission, I don't remember what it's called. I think it's the second mission, maybe third. I don't know, but you're driving a warthog around trying to rescue Marines, and
Hey, when you
I
get onto the planet.
yeah, when you get onto the Halo itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you crash land on it and you have to go rescue a bunch of Marines, and it's still a mission. I have no idea where the fuck I'm going sometimes. You know, I played it a lot and I still couldn't tell you like the best path to get to everywhere. It's like I have no fucking clue. It's a game that still has a lot for me to like do. You know what I mean? Like to learn and do.
Hmm.
That is that's true. When I first got into that warhog, for whatever reason, I decided to go out as far as I could in the water, and
Yeah.
you just go until you hit a wall, and
Yeah.
that's it. And then you
Yeah.
turn around, and
Yeah.
like you
There's
don't
nothing
drown
out
or
there. Yeah.
anything.
You do if you just stand in water. Master Chief cannot swim.
Yeah, but if you're in the warhog,
Yeah, if you're in a warthog, totally fine.
also the first game has the best shotgun of all of them, kills
Yeah,
everything
yep,
in one hit.
yep.
It doesn't matter the distance.
My favorite weapon to kill hunters with is the pistol. If you hit them in one of their weak spots, it'll one shot every time.
And the pistol is pretty OP as
Yeah,
well.
the Halo Combat Evolved pistol is stronger than the sniper rifle.
Hmm.
It's fucking nuts. But that's my top five.
Well,
Hope
those are
y'all,
solid answers,
yeah.
I suppose.
Halo's
I
just a
wasn't.
fucking great classic.
I know, dude. And I'm
Matt, do you,
gonna.
well,
I wasn't ever gonna just do all twisted metals.
yeah, he, look at him lying. Look at him.
I
Look at his
wasn't.
face. Memorize that face he's making because that's the face he makes when he's lying.
I wasn't. And it was always gonna be black. Like I don't care about the other ones as much. They're not as it's good.
Matt, you want to do yours or you want me to do mine? I can do mine. You like my coffee mug? I'm the best mom ever.
Nice. I'm gonna tell Margarita you're using her mug.
Hmm. I'll yell at her like, I want to be the best mom ever.
So I just hear about that guy that went to get like an MRI or something with a butt plug in and it shot through his body because they told him it was like he double checked. It's like they said it was full silicone, but it had a metal core, so it
Yeah.
shot up
Whoa.
into him. Yeah.
So, did he die? That sounds like
He
an
lived,
aggressive
but
way. That
he
Imagine
sounds
lived, but he
painful.
didn't feel good.
imagine getting a massive bullet up your ass. I think that's probably how that felt. Slower, but just as penetrating. All right, so I didn't pick my top five favorite video games of all time, but I did pick five games that I liked very, very much. Some of my favorites that I felt like are worth talking about. And the first one is one that I just went back and beat this game yesterday or the day before. I beat it in three sittings. It's pretty easy. It's a Metroid Zero Mission for the Game Boy Advance. It's a great fucking game. A long time ago, I went on a trip. I flew from San Diego to Tennessee to visit my dad, and my grandparents came and got me. They were living in North Carolina, and they got me and they drove me to Dolly Parton's theme park, Dollywood. I was a
Oh,
teenager. But it was so the thing about Tennessee and North Carolina is north to south they don't look very big, but east to west they're long states.
yes.
I haven't pulled on a map and calculated how long this took us, but we did end up staying the night in a motel because all the driving up to
Okay.
Dollywood and then back to North Carolina. So when the trip started, my grandparents took me to Walmart and my grandfather bought me a Game Boy Advance SP because that
Nice.
was still in Walmart at the time. And he let me pick out a game. And I am so glad I picked Metroid Zero Mission. Got in the car, turned it on, and immediately died because it's out of the box, no charge, it hasn't been charged. So, so that's cool. But yeah, I think that is the perfect first Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah.
There's so much game in there. When you beat it, it unlocks the original NES Metroid.
Oh, nice.
It's in there. It is a
Oh, I forgot
remake.
about that. Yeah.
It is a remake of the original Metroid, and I think it's much better because it has a map
Hmm.
and it also has objective markers. Like when you get
Yeah.
to certain points in the game, it'll just straight up, you don't have to guess like in the other ones. It'll just tell you where to go.
Well, which is nice.
Really weird difficulty spike right at the end where you lose your suit and there's like a kind of a stealth segment until
Yeah.
you get another suit. You get the gravity suit at the end. But you do get to play it. You get to see and play as Zero Suit Samus for a little while. She's extremely weak and only has a stun gun, and it's a pain in the ass. But I did it. The game can be what they call sequence broken, which I think most, if not all of the Metroids, at
Yeah.
least the 2D ones, can be. There's secret things the developers put in to basically help people speed run the game. I don't remember how long it took me to beat it. I beat it in like 3 sittings,
Yeah.
but I looked it up, and the world record for the speed run for any percent is some guy named Kirby Masta, Mastah. He's
Uh-huh.
got 27 minutes and 55 seconds. And then I thought it was interesting to note, let's see if I can bring this guy's name up. 1 hour, 22 minutes, 46 seconds, any percent blindfolded. The guy
Yeah.
named Bubsia, who I guess blindfold speedruns video games.
Wait, is that Bubsy guy the same guy that blindfold speed ran Mario?
Probably. I don't imagine there's many people out there blindfold speedrunning video games. How the
Uh,
fuck do you even do that?
You
sound.
learn the game in and fucking out.
Yeah, first you learn everything there is to learn about it inside and out, and then you sound cues.
Yeah. Sound cues. You fucking count how long it takes you to walk places.
Hmm.
Like, oh, it's 3 seconds forward and I'll hit this wall. So I gotta to go back 2 seconds, drop down this, it's just a bunch of shit.
I don't think I'd want to do that.
Why not?
Let's say you're like so good at video games, that's probably like the only way you can challenge yourself.
It's like that 70s show where they're trying to make smaller paddles in the Pong machine.
Yes.
It's like I'm like the best at Pong, so it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Just like that. Except for now, people blindfolding themselves. And
Yeah. After beating Zero Mission, I want to go back and play Dread really bad. I'm probably gonna do.
Dread is good,
Dread
dude.
is so good.
I have too many
I,
things I'm playing at the same time. I have too
well,
many. I've created this massive backlog lately. I'm enjoying all of them, and I'm still actively playing all these games, but it's too. I need to knock some shit off the list before I do Dread again.
okay. Just dedicate your time to a single game instead of jumping around. Like
Yeah,
right now, you're playing Majora's Mask. Just play Majora's Mask
yeah. Well,
and beat it.
that leads me into my second game, which is Majora's Mask. Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome. I love
Ruiner of
ruining your
things.
surprise.
I picked Majora's Mask because, like, we can debate whether or not there are better Zelda games. I think there probably are. I'm not trying to say it's the greatest, but it's absolutely one of my favorites in terms of just a video game. It's one of the most interesting stories I've ever seen in a video game.
I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but I personally like Majora's Mask better than Ocarina of Time.
Well, I mean, I could see that, but Ocarina of Time does have some advantages. What with the it doesn't have that time limit restriction, which could be good or bad depending on what kind of person you are, really. More variety in dungeons. Majora's Mask only has 4 temples, but they're a lot bigger, and the areas preceding the temples are also a lot bigger.
Probably gonna get flack for this, but I hate Majora's Mask.
Oh, I fucking love Majora's
I
Mask.
hate that fucking
Oh
game,
my
dude.
God, it's such a good game.
Why do you hate it, Kyle?
I don't like you said, the time limit restriction. I can't fucking stand. Oh, just go back in time. Yeah, I gotta redo all the shit I just did. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care that much. I don't want to go back and redo a bunch of shit.
Well, you
I
don't.
don't fucking
right.
If
care.
you
You
play the
don't.
game right, you don't have to.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up,
You
dude.
don't
Like,
have
and
to. I
I've
he's
mean,
tried to
gotta.
play Majora's Mask. I've tried it. I've tried so hard to play this game because it's just Ocarina of Time, but it's different a little bit. It's like it's fucking not.
no, it's not the same
No,
game.
it's not.
I know, I know
But
it's not,
what
but
draws me to Majora's Mask is that it's all the different masks you use and all the different abilities you get
I just
instead of you being a kid with a sword.
I just want Fierce Deity Link. I don't give a shit about any of the other masks.
Well, I
Eh,
like one good example. When you get the Zora's mask, you go up to the Great Bay or whatever the area water area is called. I think it is Great
Hmm.
Bay. And there's a Zora floating in the water dying, and you get him and you drag him to shore. You talk to him and you find out that he's a guitar player in a band of Zoras.
Okay.
He's in a relationship with the lead singer, which is this female Zora fish lady. And basically, she laid a bunch of eggs, and the pirates stole the eggs. He went to go get them back, and they fucked him up. So you drag him to shore, and you play the Song of Healing, which ironically kills him. And turns him into a mask that you can wear, and you can kind of become him and gain his abilities and do Zora shit. And he's not the only one. The Goron is kind of the same way. It's their dying wish. You get to inhabit these people's bodies. Their soul is in this mask, and you put it on, and you can become them, and you get to live out their final wishes. Fix the Goron shit. Save the dude's eggs.
That's
And
cool.
it's a lot of dark storytelling like that in the game.
Heard.
There's a lot of stuff like that throughout the entire game, and it's one of the few. So, like in Ocarina of Time, Link is rushing to save Hyrule, and in Majora's Mask, he's trying to save the villain because Skull Kid is, well, he's manipulated by this evil mask and sort of possessed. Like he was kind of a dick to begin with, but then he put that mask on and became like ultra mega
evil.
dick. And
Yeah.
it's to the point where it's letting the mask is letting his own, I guess, his own anger take over.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, you have to go through, fix everything. Everyone you talk to, 90% of those people are aware that they're going to die within 3 days. And
Huh.
there's just that constant theme throughout the whole game, throughout the whole game's world. Everyone you talk to, like some people are in denial, some people are thinking they can get away, and some people are just figuring out a way to accept the fact that, like, you look up and you can see the moon coming closer and closer and closer, and they're all you see the different levels of grief and acceptance
Yeah.
because all these people are going to die unless you do some magical bullshit that they don't know about. They
Yeah, of
just have to
course.
assume they either are in complete denial or just assume they're going to die.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen the game theory about Majora's Mask?
That Link's dead.
No, it's a different one.
Which
It
one?
might be in that one, but there's one. It's talking about how basically the moon, since it is going to hit the planet, but since
Uh-huh.
it's at the speed it is going, it's not gonna do fucking anything. It's just gonna like think and like that's it. It's going so fucking slow, it's not gonna matter.
You're still going to get crushed by a giant ass
Yeah,
rock
it's not. I mean, it's still heavy. It's still gonna, if anything under it, sure, but it's not gonna be like a giant world
explosion.
destroying explosion, you know?
Well, yeah, that's I'm also playing through that game again, as Matt
I'm
already
sorry.
said. That's a fucking great game. I hope one day you see the light.
In that
It's one
light.
of the yeah, the one that's directly pointed at your camera that
Yeah,
we can both see.
it's the sun. I don't. There's nothing I can do about it.
Well,
Block out the sun like Mr. Burns.
Ah,
use
yeah.
the moon from Marijuana's Mask. So for the third game, I figured if I was making a list of 5 games that are my favorite, I have to put a turn-based RPG on there somewhere. And after
Ah,
thinking about it, I know it's not like the popular thing to do to pick something so current as like to say it's your favorite or one of your favorites, but Dragon Quest XI is one of the best turn-based RPGs I've ever played. I think it's immediately up there in the conversation with games like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VII. It's a little overshadowed when it came out because it seems like Square is doing these new things with the Final Fantasy VII remake, which I think are very cool. But if you're more of a purist and you don't want that and you want a turn-based RPG, Dragon Quest XI, they also made that, and it's so while it is a return to form, it's a standard turn-based RPG. It's the most modern, most advanced version of a JRPG that I've ever played. Yeah, it's great. There's a million different stories. The game's really long. I completed it once. I think it took me like 60 hours. What's great about it is like yes, there's this whole overarching story where good guy, bad guy, chosen one, blah blah blah. But when you get your party together and you're moving through the overworld, you go from area to area, town to town, and each place has its own individual problem. Like you get somewhere and all maybe all the kids are missing, and you talk to people, find out what's going on. Then you go to a cave and you meet some monster who has a name and a backstory, and you fuck him up and save all the kids. And then you move on, and there will be something in that investigation that loops in with the main story. But there's a lot of moments in the game as you're traveling through the world. There's all these parts that seem kind of self-contained. I mean, they're not really, but it does. See, you get to a new town and everybody's dead, and you're like, "What the fuck happened here?" So you go around and you investigate, and you find out what's going on, and you fix it. And then you move on to the next place, and you meet a new group of people, and sometimes people you've met from earlier in the game will make, another appearance. But I think that makes it, that kind of storytelling makes it better for when, if you want to put the game down and come back a month or two later. That's not something you should really do with like a Final Fantasy VII.
Nope.
But in Dragon Quest, you can turn around and talk to your party, and they'll tell you what's been going on, like what the last thing that happened in the story was. They'll tell you. Like they don't
That's
do that
nice.
in, yeah, they don't do that in Final Fantasy or Chrono Trigger or any games like that.
That's
So
fucking
that,
great.
yeah, that's another plus for Dragon Quest 11 is that like you can get sick of it, put it down, come back to it 2 months later, and you don't have to start the whole fucking game over. Which, which I've
Because you
had to
have
do.
references.
Yeah, you could just turn around and talk to your fucking people, and they'll tell you, "Oh yeah, we were heading west, remember?" You're like, "Yeah, totally. I
Yeah,
remember."
you fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Like,
Pepper's
we're going
Farm
that way,
remembers.
but
But yeah, if you guys haven't played it, Matt, when you eventually get out here, I have a physical copy. You're
I have
going
a
to play
physical
the.
copy of it as
You
well.
have
I've been
11?
playing it. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you
I've
let me
been.
borrow it and then I gave it back.
I play it every so often. I don't sit. I haven't like really sat there and played it, but I have played it chunks at a time, and it is really good. One of my favorite features of Dragon Quest XI is that you can give it the old school sprites.
Yes, I never do. I only did that to like see what it looked like, but you can play the entire game in like 16-bit 2D style.
Yeah.
They
Nice.
remade the entire game. You just go to a save point, like a statue or a church or whatever the fuck it is, and
hmm
you could swap to 2D mode and basically play the game in its Super Nintendo version.
I
That's
think
cool.
I'm gonna like really sit down and play it sooner than later, and I'm gonna beat it in its original format, and then I'm gonna go back and play it in the 16-bit.
Well, based on the way that they made the game, you can really take your time on it. You might need to remember like what kind of builds you're going for each character because there are builds,
Right.
different weapon masteries and stuff. But
Same with any other RPG.
yeah, but as long as you remember to like if you boot the game up, go into your inventory or into your skill trees or whatever, and just take a look at what you've done
hmm
and keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's not it's very the more I explain it, the more I'm realizing like how accessible that game really is.
Yeah, it's a great game, and aside from it, like what you said earlier about it, being that Final Fantasy or Square's doing new stuff with Final Fantasy, kind of experimenting with that. This
Yeah.
gives you like the traditional turn-based RPG. It's just everything about it is really solid.
Kyle, did
It's
you have
just
a thing? I saw you put
No.
your hand up. It
I
looked
was
like
blocking the sun.
because your
oh
background is blurred when you raised your hand. Your hand was blurred. It looked like you were
Yeah.
flipping us off. It's pretty cool.
now he has no hand.
All right. So for the next game I picked, it is Tony Hawk's Underground.
Not
Nice.
Tony Hawk's
Specifically,
Pro Skater 2.
no, I think Underground is
Bug is great.
is the Smash Bros. Ultimate of
Okay.
those. It's the now. Don't get me wrong. Underground 2 is mechanically it's probably a better game. All the same moves are there, plus there's a couple extra things. It's just if you look at the story and what's going on in the levels between one and two, two is kind of like Jackass the video game. It's a lot more
Yeah.
cartoony, slapsticky humor, which there was some of that in Thug One. I think that's the difference maker for me. Thug 2 feels even more like you're playing a cartoon,
Yeah.
which is still I love Thug 2. Like Tony Hawk's Underground 2 is fantastic. I fucking love that game. I would play that at any moment, but for a better single player experience, plus most of the shit you can do in Thug 2 is in Thug 1.
Wait, there's a story through these games? You just don't go around
Yeah.
and skate?
Yeah, there's stories.
Oh,
Yeah. I have the GameCube version.
Nice.
we see that you have the GameCube version.
I only have one GameCube controller though, so
What
I
a
could I
bitch.
could only play it by myself. I can just go to the GameCube controller store, Matt, and pick me up
Yeah.
on your way home from work. Fucking prick. Um, Not much more to say about that. It was one of my favorite multiplayer experiences of all time, just because of how good the game was, and because I won a lot. I learned so much about skating from those games. I don't know. I can't even ride a skateboard, but I know the names of the moves because of that. I know how to do specific moves. Like we could play, like they have horse in the game where you have to like match the scores and stuff. We could play real horse where like if you do a tray flip, I'll do a tray flip
Yeah.
and things like that. Very fun game. Fucking love that. I should play that again later. But yeah, for my last game, Tetris.
Hmm.
I freaking love Tetris. I have it on three different consoles. I've already, mentioned this. I think the Tetris 99 paid version of the marathon mode is the best version of Tetris out there. Probably get burned at the stake for that. I don't know. I That's my opinion. I've played it on a bunch of different things. I have the original NES Tetris. I've played it on the Game Boy. I used to the Game Boy one was my preferred method for a long time. I had it on the 3DS. They had that virtual console or whatever. You can get NES games or Game Boy games. I had Tetris. I used to play that shit all the time. I would do Tetris on 3DS or on my Switch. Like on 3DS, I would do it like on the way to work.
Nice.
I would sit on the bus, take about 30 minutes to get to downtown, and I would just play Tetris the entire time. So I thought it was helping with like organizational skills, and I guess in a sense it does. But then when I started working in a grocery store and you have to stack up a bunch of really heavy shit, I immediately noticed that Tetris does not take weight distribution into account.
No.
So so its real life applications are limited.
Well, I think you can use the real life applications from Tetris to like figure out how things will fit together. And it's up to you to fill in the rest of the blanks, like with weight distribution and the
There's
size and shape of the object.
suspension of disbelief. It's fine.
Yeah, I think the game is more I was just looking at it from the wrong perspective. I thought it's going to help you organize a bunch of little things into a tight space. Really, I think it helps you flex your quick problem solving muscle because that's what you're
There you
really
go.
doing. It's not just like you're specifically fitting little blocks in little spaces. That is what you're literally doing, but what you're actually doing is like you're being presented with problems faster and faster, and you
That's
have to
true.
figure out how to not only figure out how to make it work, but you have to make it work with your past decisions that are set in stone.
Hmm.
You have to keep building on that. And yeah, I love to put on Tetris and put headphones in and listen to a podcast and just play it again and again. I can beat the 150 line mode. I can beat the 1000 line mode, and I have what is that? The little avatar in Tetris
Oh,
99 to
nice.
prove it.
Nice.
It takes me about an hour of Tetrising. The thing is like so when you play the 150 line mode, every level you beat or like every 10 lines it gets a little bit faster and a little bit faster. In the 1000 line mode, it stretches that out so it takes a lot longer for it to get faster as it goes from level 1 to like level 1000
Mhm.
or whatever it is. So while that sounds good, that's good for like the first two-thirds of the game, but when it gets really, really fast, it's going to stay really, really fast for a lot longer than the
Yeah.
150 line mode would.
Yeah.
And it sucks when you get to like 52 minutes of Tetris thing and then you just get shit on. But I have beaten it and I have proof. But yeah, I fucking love Tetris. And
Tetris is. Go ahead.
uh anybody who says they don't like Tetris is entitled to their own opinion and they are wrong. And we should treat them differently. Don't treat them like you treat people you like.
Tetris is really good for traumatic experiences. It helps, like, I'm not sure how it helps you. I'm not going to sit there and try to guess, but it's what I've heard, and people have done, experiments and stuff like that, and done their own research and stuff, and apparently, supposedly, it's really good for you if you've gone through a traumatic experience.
So
I
it's
think
therapeutic.
Yeah.
I think that works like at first it was helping me turn my brain off and then when I got better at it it stopped working. I can see where they're coming from. I think it helps keep your hands busy. It doesn't really keep your mind off of what's bothering you, but
Sure.
you'll sit there and focus. I'm having a hard time putting it into words, but I wouldn't recommend that. Like if someone you love died, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, you play Tetris and everything will be better."
Yeah,
Like,
no, of course not. I
like,
don't mean it
It's a
like that.
stepping stone,
It's
Joe.
yeah,
just there to help. It's not there to cure it. You're like go deal with the shit. Like you're gonna have to at some point deal with the shit.
it's a stress
But
ball.
yeah, pretty much. It can help you, which is all I was trying to say. And don't have to John it all up.
Like he always does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why they named me John.
Mom looked at you like right after you were born. Like, man, he really Johned this up.
All right, well, those are five of my favorite games in no particular order. Matt's going to do his top five favorite games of all time. These are your favorite games of all time. They cannot change. This is what it is. If you say, "Oh, this is one of my," if some new game comes out, you're like, "Oh, this is one of my favorite games ever." Fuck you. No, it's not,
I
because
could.
I would
these.
like to give an honorable mention to Golden Sun. I forgot
Okay.
that gaming existed, but that game very much so deserved to be mentioned.
As far as you and I are concerned, Matt, this list you're about to give is tattooed on your fucking face.
Same.
And this is it forever and ever. Amen.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
They could
I'm
release Bloodborne 2, and it's the best game that's ever been created in the history of forever.
then that'll be my
And that doesn't
that'll
count.
be
It
that
doesn't,
no, it'll
it can't be
count.
your favorite.
It's
It
not in the
shits
top
your
10.
pants and
This
cleans
is
it.
a top five. These are the top five. I can always have like a top 10 favorites.
Don't lawyer it up. All
Yeah,
right. You didn't pass
right.
the bar.
First of
Um,
all, maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
no, you didn't.
I don't think you'd be doing the job you're doing if you pass the bar.
Yeah.
That's true. I'd definitely be
I'm just saying.
a
Yeah.
scummy. I'd be one of those scummy ass lawyers, just in it for the money.
You'd be one
Mm.
of those people that serves people papers. Like, wasn't it? Is Knocked Up or Pineapple Express where Seth Rogen has that job where he wears disguises? And he
Yeah,
just
that's
show up in
it's
scrubs. Are
Pineapple
you?
Express.
Yeah, he's like, "Are you doctor or whatever?" He's like, "Yeah, that's me." He's like, "Well, you've been served." And he takes the fucking mask and the scrubs off, and the guy's like, "You're a piece of shit."
Yeah.
Well, he does it right when the doctor is about to perform surgery.
Get get him.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
Matt.
Anyways, all right. The first game. This is in no particular order either, but for this one, it's from Devil May Cry, and I had a hard time choosing between three and five because those are like my two favorites. But I picked five, and here's why. I think three has a better story throughout the game, but in five, you get a much more matured Nero, so he's a little less annoying, but he still has development. He still you can see his story unfold even further in regards of like who he is and what he's about. And then there's just Dante. Dante's just always just there and cool and a badass. What up, Kyle?
Why isn't it DMC? Why isn't that one your favorite?
The first one?
No, DMC.
no, the remake. I almost put that on my list to be honest.
Because it's a shitty ass story. Like,
I
True.
know, I was just kidding.
like,
No, but seriously,
uh,
I honorable mention to that one. I almost put it on my list. If you like, you play it on a modern console, listen to Spotify, put on your own playlist of music, kill the game's music, skip every cutscene. It's an excellent game. But what they did with the characters and the story and the new direction, even how do you fuck up Mundus? Like, I don't, they they ruined everything in that
they
game.
did.
But
Okay,
yeah,
what
sorry.
here's the couple of things I will say about DMC. The combat is excellent. The way you can chain things together to get those combos is a
Yeah.
lot more streamlined. I do love the mechanics of the game, but like what they did with Dante, Virgil, Mundus, they fucked everything up.
They did. It was bad.
Now, what
Super
they
fun.
did, if you do leave the music on, the music won't kick in until you start to reach a certain level with your combos. And they took that feature and put it in five.
Yeah.
That's where they get.
Was that not in all of them?
No, it wasn't. It
Definitely not the
started with
first one.
it started with DMC, and then the Capcom is like, you know what? This is actually a pretty cool idea, so let's put it in five.
That was a cool idea.
Yeah, and it just lets you know how good or shitty you are at the game.
I wish they did it in four because not to say that like Nero's theme is like bad, but the same song so often. Dan, 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 dan.
True, but
Every time you get in a
a
fight.
lot of them, a lot of them were like that
But
with the
Nero's
same song.
theme, yeah, Nero's theme in five is
Way better.
infinitely better. Devil Trigger is such a good song. It's on
Yes, it
Spotify. Look it
is.
up. Casey Edwards, I
Although,
think, is
yeah,
the guy who wrote it.
Casey Edwards composed the whole album.
Nice.
Subhuman is really good. That's Dante's theme, I believe. I did like these, but the best one is Buried in Light. Come on, Virgil's
Well, the
theme.
Virgil one. Now I'd give it to Devil Trigger. I think that's the fucking Eye of the Tiger of that game.
Uh,
That's,
I'm
that's
I'm more of a Virgil fanboy, so yeah. Fucking. Anyways, moving on. Talking more about Devil May Cry 5. So you get Dante. He's older, wiser, cooler, and then and then you're introduced to V, which is a really unique dynamic because it's Virgil's human half.
so much of five is a ripoff of Dragon Ball.
I don't
Man,
give a fuck.
No, but it's still good. I'm not saying like don't play the game, but like the whole Virgil splitting himself, and there's the evil side and the good side, like Kami and Piccolo, and then there's they plant a tree that sucks like the life force from the planet, and then they eat the fruit and become super strong, like the Tree of Might.
yeah,
Yeah,
And then I know there was more. I just can't think of any. Those tails that come up and stab people and drain their fluid, like Cell.
yeah.
yeah. I know there's a bunch of Dragon Ball references in Devil May
Oh,
Cry
you mean
5.
rip-offs?
References.
They're kind of ripoffs. It is still a good story though, but I was just
Sure.
like, that's fucking Dragon Ball. What are we doing?
Mhm.
Anyways, and also like I don't know if anybody had any issues with V or they just didn't like him. I liked him, and I liked the dynamic that he brought to the game, and like the shadow creatures you can use to. I thought those were pretty cool, like the panther and shit,
He
and then
was
like
super easy.
yeah, and then and then the way he moves around the map is he one of the shadow creatures get under his feet and he just kind of surfs along.
Oh
I
yeah.
thought that I like that's pretty cool. Like he's just surfing along
When
on his
I
own business.
when that game came out and I played it for the first time, I didn't get triple S's in combat until I got to V.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I thought V was so fucking easy to use. He has those
He
three
was.
different.
You have the panther, the bird, and the Goliath.
Yeah, basically, as long as V doesn't get hit, your combo stays. So you
Oh, okay.
keep him away from the fight and keep the shadow creatures between you and the monsters, and it's super easy to get triple S's
It
when you're
is.
using
It's
him.
very easy.
You guys know that there's a secret ending to Devil May Cry 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And then also like
It's not even, yeah, moving on.
Well, if you didn't, I was going to tell you, but
That's where you beat
uh
the boss at the beginning.
yeah.
yeah. It's really hard to do,
No,
but
I'm sure,
You
yeah.
beat King Piccolo at the beginning of the game.
also, what I like too is Nero gets his Devil Bringer arm ripped off at the beginning of the game,
Yeah, so you use
and
robot parts.
so you use robot parts, and I really like that because yeah, he's still using his like a special ability, but each arm does something different,
That's cool.
and you can load them up too. Like you can have multiples, and then and if you are finished or you don't like one of the ones you picked up, you can purposely discard it. But if you do it during a combo, it will explode in the face of an enemy, giving you some high points that can bring you. Let's say you're at like atomic, it can put you in super, and then you load up the other arm and continue your combo.
Yeah, the key to getting a high score in those games, just like in the Batman Arkham games, is not just doing damage, but variety, using different
Mm-hmm.
moves. So
Yeah.
if you run out of ideas, I think it's L1, you just press L1 and blow your fucking arm up.
Yep.
I paid money for the Mega Man Buster Cannon
Nice.
in that game, and I barely use it. Like
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and that's another thing with this game is that yeah, all the other Devil May Cry games, it force you to like learn the mechanics of the game to be good at the game. But I think considering like it need to reach a certain level for the music to kick in, it really forces you to get good at the game.
Okay.
And it's a
So
fucking great game.
it is.
Yeah.
And bonus, and this is why I chose it over three, is because you get to play as Virgil.
Well, you can play as him in four
Yeah,
with a
but
special edition.
yeah,
Yeah.
the special
And
edition. And
actually, if
it's the
you
same
don't,
with
go
Devil
ahead.
May Cry 5. With Devil May Cry 5, you need a special edition to play as Virgil. But but 3 and 5 are like the best two of the whole franchise, in my opinion. I do like 4. I like it a lot, but it's nowhere near as good as 3 and 5.
I would like to point out that a lot of people might not remember from when the game actually came out, you could not play as Virgil in the game's initial release. And I
Right.
don't think they ever, I knew what they were going to do. I don't think they released it as DLC originally. They released a like special edition and sold the game again and
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
added Virgil to it, which I thought was scummy as fuck.
Yeah.
But originally Virgil's involvement in the story was a spoiler. They didn't put that in the commercials and stuff. It was kind of, oh shit, there he is, like at the
Oh,
end. And it was
cool.
really his reveal was fucking awesome
For Devil May Cry 4.
for five.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he
It
wasn't
was. His,
initially advertised in the game, and when you bought the game originally, it did not come with Virgil as a playable character. They released a special edition. I don't know if it's released in a DLC. I'm gonna assume it's not. James, you can fucking fact check me.
Do it.
but when Devil May Cry came out, I played it because I think John had a copy. Then I was like,
Yeah, I did.
now I knew that they were gonna release a special edition with Virgil. I was like, I'll wait until that comes out before I get my own copy.
Yeah, and that's what they did. I think
Yep.
I had a physical copy. I ended up selling it, and I bought the game again digitally a long time later, and it has I have Virgil now.
So
Slated.
that was the first choice. The next one would be Castlevania Curse of Darkness. And the reason why that's on the list is because I
Name
love
names.
four. No, I love four. I think out of the whole Castlevania franchise, four, it's like a close second to Curse of Darkness. But what puts Curse of Darkness over everything else is that not only is it like Symphony of the Night, as in it's like it's a Metroidvania, but it's 3D, and so like the map is a lot bigger. But you're also not a Belmont. You're playing as Hector, and you're a Devil Forge master. So the game allows you to use your devils that you can create, and depending on the weapon that you use, you can evolve these devils into different creatures. And like if you when you look it up online, there's like a whole map for which ones to get that you may or may not want to use. So it has a lot of replayability. And considering, it's a Metroidvania, there's a lot to explore. And it's the story's a little bit different than, a Belmont needs to save the land again from Dracula waking up and trying to kill everybody, right? In this one, Isaac is the main villain, and he took Hector's wife and murdered her. So Hector's out for revenge against Isaac, and that's the whole story.
I know that from that previous episode where you talked about this.
Shut up, John.
I was gonna say I've never played the game, but I already know this because he did this before.
So
Repeating Randy over here. That well, to be fair, that was another reason why I didn't want to do a top five because it's going to be Resident Evil, Metal Gear, Last of Us, like
Yeah.
same shit we that I've
I tried to
talked
pick
about a
shit
million
that
times.
wasn't those things.
Yeah, I have talked about Dragon Quest 11 and Tetris before, but not. I mean, very briefly.
way to shit over my list, John.
Well, it sucks. I'm sorry. No,
No, it doesn't.
your list is legit and valid, and your opinions are valid. And you're a beautiful person. God, I felt gross saying that.
Well, anyways,
I
moving
was
on.
like,
So John's a fucking bitch.
I cut that out. Let's go.
Moving on. Next game would be Prince of Persia Warrior Within. Yeah.
That's a good game.
What? I talked about this one before too.
I didn't say anything. The
You're
the
over there
listeners
making
can't the
faces.
listeners can't see my faces. But yes. But anyway, go ahead. Go on. Maybe you have some new insight. I don't think we mentioned that Godsmack did the soundtrack,
I
which is
was
fucking
gonna say that.
dope.
What I was gonna say was that a couple of all right. So when I first, this was actually my first introduction to Prince of Persia. I didn't play Sands of Time or anything like that before this game, and and this was kind of like the first game where I played anything like it, where there's like 3D game and the combat. It's like swords and stuff. You go around, cut people up, and you can jump off of them. But it's also like the first game where I really like sat down and played where there's like large enemies like the brute and the thrall, and they're large scale enemies that you have to fight, and I thought that was really cool. Will you stop with the fucking
No,
face?
I was gonna say your mom's a large scale enemy, but I didn't because that'd be immature.
All right, you can cut that part
No, the viewers can't see my face. Stop giving me energy. Stop feeding it.
out.
It's your fault.
But then
Yeah, dude.
stop making retard faces.
That's just my resting face, dude. Like, what do you want?
Well, he'd
And
be an expert on it. So
and
Yeah. Get
and
him.
the other thing I
look.
liked about it is the cop. It's the
The
it's the
what?
monster. It's the time.
Oh,
It's like the
Nemesis.
yeah. It's like the Grim Reaper because like the prince fucked with time so much, so it's the Dakar have to come in and fix fix it somehow.
It's
Yeah.
Key and
Like
Peele from Rick and Morty. You
Don't
don't fuck
fuck
with
with time.
time. They beat the fuck out of you. Like,
Yeah. I love that. I will fuck with time.
and yes, Godsmack did the soundtrack for this game. So
No
every
way.
once in a while, yeah. So every once in a while, you'll hear not standalone, but faceless.
I don't, I don't know. I'm pretty sure
No, or both.
I Stand Alone is in the game, I think, but it
Okay.
might just be
There's
an
a
instrumental.
few. There's a few of their songs. I think "Faceless" is one of them. You're probably right about "I Stand Alone." It's been a while since I played the game. Uh, I have a lot of good memories with this game, and like the mechanics of it, like the way you're athletic, the way you're jumping around and climbing things. Like I said, it's like my first experience really playing a game like that, and so it was super fun to like be open to this whole new world. You know what I mean? Because I like
Yeah.
obviously I played the first Devil May Cry before this game, but it wasn't as involved,
Expansive.
yeah, expansive. And also there's a shit ton of hidden weapons you can go find. There's all kinds of cool little secrets.
It is a very good game. If you get a functioning PS2, I have a copy. I just can't fucking play it because
Or we could get an Xbox and play it.
that's true as well. It'd probably be more reliable hardware. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Sony fanboy, but
That's where I played
yeah.
it. I played on OG Xbox.
I
So
probably played it on the PS2 because I had that before I had my Xbox.
but yeah, so it's a great solid game. And now probably no surprise, but Elden Ring is my next game.
What's Elden Ring?
Yeah, what's
Oh,
that game?
that game is a FromSoft.
Pass.
Wow,
Well,
it's
I know
only
what
the best
FromSoft
one.
is.
It's from
Arguable.
software. From
It
software.
says Bandai Namco on it though. I'm holding the case right here.
Yeah. It could, you could say
This is a
Demon Souls
toy.
is the better one.
That means this is a toy. That's not
It's a
good.
toy. But
Kyle, you're rooting Matt's thunder. Damn it, Kyle.
anyways, all right. So I'm trying to think of things that I haven't said about Elden Ring that I like about it that I've said before because I know I've talked about this game and why I like these games so much. But I think it's just because like all the other ones are just like your really hard Metroidvania. This one's open world, and it was like the first one that is a legit open world game for these type of games. And there's just so much shit to do. There's like over 200 bosses. And okay, and another thing too is that it's a dark fantasy, so it's taking two of my favorite things and combining them, which is horror and fantasy.
Can you really call it horror though?
Dark fantasy, it depends on like what's going on. So if it's like this is kind of light like a light horror, more fantasy type of deal that's going on. But there's some dark fantasies out there, or it's really focused on like the demons and things like that, where there's more of a horror element, but it's in a fantasy setting.
I always thought the game was like it's like a horror movie after the credits. Like well, I don't know if this is true, but from what I heard, they had the was it George R. R. Martin, the Game of
Yeah.
Thrones dude?
Yeah.
They had him write the world. Like he created the world and the lore and the story, and then From Software took it and then hit it with an apocalypse. And that's what the world of Elden Ring is. So
Yeah.
it's like, yes, it is technically like a horror movie or a horror story, but all of the horror shit already happened, and you're walking around in what's left,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because not just this one, but all the other ones before it, a lot of the gods and demigods and stuff like that, they were once like, normal to
Hmm.
to speak. Now they're just like twisted and decrepit things that
Yeah.
they've become monsters. So yeah, that's like an accurate description. You don't see them become these monsters. You see them as the monster as they are versus what they were formerly. And you actually see that with Godfrey because like you fight Godfrey quite a bit, and the more you fight him, the more he becomes his original self.
Yeah, I fought him once so far in my playthrough, and he had
Yeah,
like a bunch of arms stapled around him, and took a dragon's head and replaced one of his arms with it,
yeah,
and it was all kinds of
Nice.
yeah,
wild shit.
yeah. He that's like his twisted and decrepit form, and then as you fight him, he becomes more human and becoming the god he once was.
So, like, are you fixing him? Is that
Um,
what's happening, or is he becoming like a worse person?
I kind of hard to can't quite
Oh well,
remember.
that's spoilery anyway.
Yeah, it is. I can't quite remember. Just look it up on YouTube. There's a shit ton of lore to these games, and it'll take forever just to like explain it. And I don't really have patience to do so.
I would like to point out. So if you're playing, like, if you're going to play any of the games I mentioned, if you're going to play Majora's Mask and you want to find all the masks, or if you're playing Elden Ring and you want to find all of the bosses, use the
And
internet.
weapons, and yeah,
Especially if you like, I would say if you get stuck, only if you get stuck. Try it without it, and if you can't find it, use the internet. There's no shame in doing it, especially if you paid for the console, the TV, the game, the internet, everything. It's all yours. I think it's the best way. Like when I played Metroid Dread, you have any idea how many times I Googled where to go after
Oh,
fucking
all the time.
after the speed boost, where to go after Morph Ball, where to go after super missiles. Like it's
Yeah, absolutely. That's
ridiculous.
what I did.
But yeah, I think a lot of people have some kind of hangups about doing that. Like it makes it like no, enjoy the game,
Yeah,
yeah,
I tried
finish the
not to.
game.
I
I
tried
just
not
but
to,
but
but
I thought about it because Matt said YouTube. I prefer to read walkthroughs so I can stop like right where I need to. I just think for me it's easier to see it written out in text as opposed to watching it in a so instead of fast forwarding, I'm just like looking up and down.
I kind of agree with you, John. But like when sometimes I'll sit there and I'll try to read like the walkthrough, and sometimes it's just really poorly written. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't understand the instructions. So I
GameFAQs has
go,
rankings. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
and so I'll go to YouTube video and watch it, and I can see and I'll look for one where they show it on the map, and then they show you how to get there.
Yeah, if you look at so like for instance, GameFAQs, game FAQs, however it's pronounced,
Uh huh.
the written walkthroughs that are submitted by users, they have rankings, like a star ranking system next to them,
Okay.
and you want to look for the obviously you
The
want to look
higher.
for the better one, the
Yeah.
one that have
Okay.
but you also gotta be careful because it could be like one person used this walkthrough and gave it 5 stars. So it on
yeah,
average is a 5 star
Okay.
thing. So you want to look at the most versus there's
See.
like 3 people rated it 5 stars, but 8,000 people rate this three to have 4 stars. You're probably gonna go with the other one.
Right. I do. I don't. I do both. Like I do use walkthroughs, like written ones, and I use YouTube videos. But more often than not, I just kind of find it easier for me, at least, because I'm definitely more of a visual learner. I'll
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
YouTube videos.
All the pretty pictures.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. No, it's
and
valid. It's a
then
good way. I just have preferences of my own.
yeah, everyone has their
Same. I'd rather
preferences.
read it than listen to some dude talk for 10 minutes
I
and then
have
get to what
like
I'm looking for.
so
I
like
skip that fucking part. I
Well,
don't give a
yeah, but
fuck
it's like
who you are or what your channel
I don't
is.
have to sit there and skip if I can hit Control F and type the word I'm looking for.
Good
like you
point.
can't see it, but like where I'm sitting, my TV is right in front of me, and
Yeah.
if I'm playing like Tomb Raider, I can have the walkthrough up right here, and I can have it's very helpful.
Yeah, it is. That part is beneficial versus having to like pause your game, look at a video, and you're like, oh, okay, this is where I go.
But yeah, hard right turn from the topic and what we were talking about. But I think use walkthroughs. Those people who write those, people who fucking like it's like one guy in his house
Yeah.
writing a crazy amount of words
Hmm.
Yeah,
with so much information. They work so hard on it. And there's someone to be like, oh, you use walkthroughs, you're a bitch. I can't imagine being the person who writes the walkthroughs, having to hear people say, like, oh, you use that thing that that dude
I
spent 80
know.
hours on, you're a bitch. Like,
dude, it's just yeah. Those guys took the time to give you information that is useful and helpful.
yeah. But that's so is that your whole list? That's your top five
Nope,
favorite
I got
games?
one more. Got one
Oh,
more.
okay.
And it's a
Okay.
game I'm currently playing. Huh? What was that?
All I said was swear to God.
Swear to fucking God.
It does have God in it. God of War.
Ah,
See what I did there? See what I
no,
did?
please explain it in excruciating detail.
No, I'm gonna let that one fly over your
Wait,
head.
you talking about
Anyways,
Ragnarok?
yeah, Ragnarok. I got them Ragnaroks.
That was probably
Ragnarok, eh?
the best Thor movie.
Probably is. Love and Thunder just doesn't hit the same.
Nah.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get through it. I like Christian Bale's character and
he
why
steals the
he's
Oh,
movie.
Gore?
He steals the movie.
yeah.
He's the
He
best in that movie.
Yeah.
and I can see why he wants to kill all the gods, like his
Yeah.
family and all of his people suffer. He comes across his god, the person that he prays to, and then like, oh fuck you, dude.
Yeah, but
You-
so God of War Ragnarok.
Okay, so the God of War franchise has always been one of my favorite franchises, and that is because those games make do an excellent job of making you feel like a badass. Like you can take on all of these monsters and creatures and just lay waste to them. Go ahead, Kyle.
Hello,
They also
Kyle.
do a great job of making you feel like a little bitch.
Yeah,
You
that's
It
get to
true.
certain bosses and you just get fucking destroyed.
that is true,
Yeah. They humble
but
you very quickly.
it does. The game can humble you very quickly.
Yeah.
But the reason why I picked God of War Ragnarok is because of, in my personal opinion, of all the games, it has the best story and it has a lot to do versus all the other ones. I mean, there's all kinds of special armors you can get. There's all kinds of different attachments you can get for your weapons and your shields. There's also actually different type of shields you can get,
Yep.
and instead of just having the Blades of Chaos and the Leviathan axe,
Spoiler.
you could
Oh well, now the game's old enough, I guess.
it is old
Yeah.
enough.
Mm,
You get the Drapnir spear. You get three
drop
weapons.
near,
Dropnir, how you
drop
say it,
near.
and that spear is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But
I love
also,
when
I
you
like
first use it against that one douchebag
Heimdall.
god. Yeah.
Hamdil. Kratos gave him so many chances.
He did,
Yeah.
really did.
He's like, hey, back the fuck up. And it just wouldn't.
Would not listen.
But here's a spear.
It reminds me of Talladega Nights where like Borat is holding the guy's arm and he tells him to say I love crepes and he refuses to say I love crepes. He's like, put a crack in it, Pepe Le Pew. And he breaks his arm and he's like, your injury is one of ignorance and pride. But yeah, that's
Well, I'm not done talking about God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, God of War Ragnarok. That's God of War Ragnarok.
It's a good one.
It
But
exists.
It's one of the
also,
games of all time.
like I like the Berserker over the Valkyries. Those boss fights. I am on a current quest to see how many I can do before I give up. I have beaten three of those bosses so far. No, wait, I've beaten four. So
How many are there?
there's 12.
Damn.
Yeah. So
For what? How there's how many? For what?
The
you know
Berserker
the
bosses, you put the hilt of
Oh
the
yeah.
sword in the
Yep.
thing.
yeah, there's
Guess what I
12 of
didn't
them,
do?
but
That.
Yeah,
why
I didn't
not?
either.
I'm good.
I'm trying to do as much of the side stuff there is. Like I found all the lindworms. I fought all six of the health things. The ones that come up out of the ground, the Dragneers.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Uh, and then I am looking for all the hell portals. I just want to see what how much shit I can get before end game. That's what I'm
Um.
currently trying to do.
Yeah, I get you. Try to. Did you do all the Valkyries?
No, not
Because
yet.
fuck that bitch.
But John has a theory, and he thinks that you have to beat the berserkers and the king himself.
Yep.
Then you fight the Valkyrie.
No.
No, you
I
just
beat the
have to.
You
game.
don't
I
have to. You can do it that way. It'd probably help you out a lot because you get stuff for beating them.
Mm-hmm.
But you can just do the Valkyrie, the Queen Valkyrie fight. Like it's one of the fucking fireplace. What's his name?
Oh,
yeah.
the
The fire guy.
where all the trials are.
Yeah, it's one of those trials. You just fight her there.
So I
She's a
beat the
dumb bitch.
game.
Fuck her. Fuck that. Fuck fucking whoever made that fight. Fuck you.
I beat the whole game
Yep.
or the whole campaign,
You
and
sound
then
far away again.
I beat the whole campaign, and then I found that mission, and I
Nothing.
went up to
There
her.
you go.
I went up to her. So you get different colored life bars that indicate if they're
Yeah.
a higher or lower level than you.
Yeah.
Hers was like dark red, and I'd
Is
never
it
seen
like
that
purple or
in.
something like that or
It
something?
depends on you. It depends on
Oh,
how high
fair,
of a
fair.
level you are versus hers was like when I saw it after beating the campaign, her life bar was like dark red.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before,
Yep.
and she kills me in one hit.
Yep.
Well, that's after completing the entire game.
Yeah.
So
She
no, I
will fuck you
didn't beat
up.
the fucking Valkyrie.
No, fuck that. She will fuck you up the entire time. It doesn't matter. Like you can get essentially the Infinity Gauntlet. It's not called that, but they
Mm-hmm.
have an item that is equivalent, and she'd still kill you.
I think you
It's
can get the
absolutely
gauntlet
insane.
and I think you can get the Infinity Gauntlet in the one before it.
I don't know about that, but I know you can get it in Ragnarok.
It was like a
But
cosmetic thing, but anyway.
I'm
Oh,
also
yeah.
I have like 42 out of 48 the Ravens.
Oh, nice. That fight is
Yeah.
fun.
So I'm really trying to do all like, but there's just so
Look them
much
up.
shit.
I swear, look them up, dude. Just look up where they are. Like
Okay. I just
it'll be way easier on you. I
but
mean, I understand.
the problem is I can't remember. Although the map tells you like how many
Yeah, how many you have in each
because I'm
area.
like yeah, because I'm like, wait, like I gotta remember which areas where I got them from.
Yeah, so you just look for an area where you haven't found one and then look at that area like on YouTube or whatever, like
Hmm.
you can look for a walkthrough where all the ravens are. It might be a 20, 30 minute video, but you can skip through to the areas you're looking in and look through each one. Oh yeah, okay, I go over here and I have this one. I don't have this one. Or
Right.
you can do it that way and it'll be a lot easier on you.
Yeah.
That's a fun thing when you find them all.
But that's why I like God of War Ragnarok. There's just so much to do in
Yeah.
that game. Plus, the story is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it for my list. Now, you guys got to do an honorable mention, so I'm going to do one. You're going to sit here and listen to me.
Skyrim.
No, Metal Gear Solid 5.
Eh.
And yes, three's the better story and all that other shit, but we've extensively talked about Metal Gear and Metal Gear 3 and all that other stuff. But reason why I like five so much is because yeah, like you gotta find the story, but it's the mechanics of that game and the
Yeah.
adaptive AI is amazing. So, like, let's say you do most of your infiltrations on a base at night, they're gonna set up floodlights and make it a lot harder for you to sneak around in the dark. If
Huh.
you just if you just constantly pick off one guard at a time, they're gonna pair up to make it that even more difficult. If you like head shoot them like exclusively, they're gonna wear helmets. If you go for body shots, they put on ballistic armor. The AI is constantly adapting to how you play the game. So you got to change it up quite a bit. And also,
It's
there's a
true.
lot of different ways you can approach each mission. I know in the other games that you had different routes you could take and all that other stuff, but you don't get the same amount of freedom as you do in five. It's just like the mechanics that they did with this game are just fucking awesome. Fuck you if you don't like it because you're a purist and you're like, there's not Metal Gear. There's no great epic story. Well, game is great on it in its own right. I think the story is fine. I like how you're Venom Snake. I thought it was a cool change of pace. Uh, it did take me a while to get there because I'll admit, like other fans, I wanted like Big Boss and all that other shit, and then to find out you're not him, you're just some guy who had plastic surgery. It's kind of like let down, but I think the story is still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good game. I liked it a lot.
Never played it, don't like Metal Gear.
Well, you're wrong.
I think you would like this one because it kind of matches like how you would play Splinter Cell.
Does it though?
Mm,
Does it though?
not
You don't
really.
I mean, am I playing as Sam Fisher?
No, you're not,
Exactly. So no, it's not.
but I mean you get like the three you get the full 360 cam and all that other stuff. You don't get the fixed camera angles.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah. Well, I think I have one trivia question.
oh yeah, I got something too.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got one. I got one, and it's for
Well
both of you
just
guys.
let me
What does the gravity suit do in Metroid?
Doesn't it protect you from the elemental things like heat and cold?
No.
That's
You
the
get that
Varia suit,
earlier.
right?
it allows
Yeah.
you to defy
It
gravity. That's why it's
helps you
called the
jump
gravity suit.
higher.
No.
All
Matt's
right.
kind of right, but not really.
Helps you
I,
jump higher, right?
I haven't
No.
played Metroid
I thought
enough
it
to
did.
know exactly what it does.
It lets you move around in water without using
Oh
water
yeah,
physics. You
yeah,
can jump around in water as if it's not water. So
Okay.
while
gotcha.
technically it does let you jump higher only in water.
Good.
And it also does technically all of the, protect you from the ice and the heat and everything, but like the suits you get before that do that. And if the gravity suits at the end, it does the water thing plus all the shit before it.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, so I came up with an idea, and that is you guys can go one at a time, and that is
Gay.
rank these rank these five games without knowing what comes next. This is just a blind ranking.
Okay, I get what you
Blind
mean, like a
ranking.
tier
Got
list.
it.
Okay. Okay,
All
I'll
right,
fuck with it.
all
Hold up.
right. Who wants to go first, Kyle or
We're
John?
doing Are we doing A through F or S through F?
One through five,
One being the best?
one being the best.
Okay, okay.
So who wants to go first?
I'll go
John
first.
does.
Okay, John. All right. Castlevania,
Which one?
just Castlevania. The
The
first
first
one.
one? So you're
Yeah.
gonna name five games, right?
Yes, five games.
I'm gonna put Castlevania at number two. The NES
Okay.
version of Castlevania, I'll put at number two.
Okay.
Are we gonna be
Resident
doing?
Evil.
Are we gonna be doing the same games?
Yeah, because
But
that's all
why
I
don't we just
came
do it
up
at the
with.
same time?
Okay, okay, Kyle. Like for Castlevania, for where would you put
Uh,
that on your
I'd put that
list?
at a 4.
Out of four. Okay, John's at one or two, and
I'm writing them down. I got it.
Oh, okay,
okay.
good, because I was like, how the fuck?
All right. So next game, Resident Evil, the first one.
We're talking about the PS1 version?
We're talking about the director's cut that was re-released, and you can
Oh
play
yeah,
on
so
like
the The good PS1 version.
Yeah, the good PS1 version.
I think you have a trick up your sleeve, so I'm going to put it at three.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
agree. I'll agree with three.
All right. The
Definitely deserves to
Last
be
of
on the list.
Us.
The Last of Us, the first one,
Yeah.
four.
4.
Yeah, I'm going to put it at four because I know you're going to pull some bullshit at the end. I'm
Okay.
saving that number one spot until I hear all the answers.
Mm,
Well, that's not how it works, John.
Yeah.
yeah. All right. All
Reality
right.
can be whatever I
Um,
want. Kyle.
that's true. I'll put that at two because I think you have a trick, but it's going to be the opposite way.
All right. Fallout.
Bubsy 3D.
Oh, fuck
Fallout,
you. Which
five.
one?
Five. Whichever one
4.
it is, bottom of the list.
Fallout 4.
Oh, Fallout 4. Yeah, I'll go five.
On the list, but at the bottom.
Okay. Okay.
Like, I'll
And
still play it, but
the last one would be Twisted Metal, the first one.
oh, fuck, dude.
I haven't played that one.
Uh, I'll I'll put it at one.
I have
Honestly,
no
I would agree.
choice. You
John
can't make
has
me.
no choice. Yeah.
Well, good job, John. I'm
Yay.
glad you agree with me that it's number one. All right, so
It's
you guys want to hear
definitely the first
you guys
in
want
the
to hear all
series.
the rankings? Apparently,
Yeah, let's
Yes.
hear
okay. So
them.
for John, Castlevania is number two. Resident Evil Director's Cut is three. Last of Us is four. Fallout 4 is number five, and Twisted Metal is number one.
I was tricked.
You were. You're like, oh, something's coming. Something's
Yeah,
coming.
I
And
know.
then it came,
Yeah,
not in the direction you thought it would.
yeah. I
It's
knew he
getting
was gonna have
weird.
something, but so mine was Castlevania's number four. Resident Evil Director's Cut is number three. Last of Us is two. Fallout 4 is five, and Twisted Metal 1 is one. Something I agree with, but John can suck a dick.
I could if I wanted.
Yeah, you
I'd probably
definitely
be
could.
great at it. I'd probably be better than both of you guys at it.
I hope you are.
If there's a
Yeah.
list, I want to be number one. I don't give a fuck what it is.
All right. So,
So I think that's the episode.
Yeah.
do we have any bad legal advice or
No,
Don't have any
shady
good.
car dealings?
I think we've matured beyond that. Thank you all for listening. Be excellent to each
Yeah.
other. Say goodbye,
Calm down,
gentlemen.
Rufus.
Bye, people.
Bye, gentlemen.